Hey everyone, welcome back to our Dark Revenge Productions. My name is Chad, and thank you for joining me. If you haven't noticed by the title below, I'm trying something new on this channel. We're going to start doing wrestling reviews, wrestling reactions, and possibly, also going to be doing wrestling predictions when the pay-per-views and things like that come up. So I'm hoping you all enjoy this episode of Dark Revenge Productions that we're going to try out. If you do, let me know in the comments below if you think I should continue doing this. So anyways, we finally hit 160 subscribers. So thank you to those of you who are continuing to follow this channel to join the Dark Revenge family. Thank you to those of you who have recently joined the Dark Revenge family. Hope you all enjoy the content, the videos, and things to come on down the road. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with this Raw reaction and Raw results from last night, and I hope you all enjoy. To get things started, to be honest, I wasn't really impressed with this Raw episode. It really wasn't one of their better ones. I mean, they did have some good highlights and a few things that were pretty good within the show, but there was also a lot of things that shouldn't have really happened, really didn't make sense, and should just not have been part of the show. We all know, if you watch Raw at all, if you watch WWE at all, you know that Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon are now in charge of Monday Night Raw, and it seems like, for the most part, it seems like right now they're getting along. Stephanie McMahon is doing this Miss Nice Girl character as of right now. I don't know, if it's just her trying to maybe make herself look good with Shane for her dad, so that maybe she can come up with some kind of a scheme to go behind Shane's back and take over Raw completely. I do feel that, and I could be wrong, but I do feel like there's going to be some kind of war between the two. It might be something like where Shane has to pick a team, Steph picks a team, winner gets Monday Night Raw. That would be cool if something like that happened, but we can only wait to see and find out. Now, the opening of Monday Night Raw was more of a long opening. I'm not really a fan of these long openings that they do. They should, with the openings, they should shorten them up a little bit with the talking and get right into the matches. But this one was a little bit longer one. It had to do with Y2J coming down and starting off Monday Night Raw, and he was doing his Jericho show, and during the process, he was ranting and raving and whining, the normal things that he does. During the process, unexpectedly, Cass and Enzo came down to the ring, and stood toe to toe with Chris Jericho. It was unexpected, but it needed to happen. I think that Cass did really well with his promo and his insults towards Chris Jericho. I think he really nailed it. Y2J, on the other hand, I just feel like he's burned out. I feel like he's just not as credible as he once was. I feel like maybe his time is just to slowly phase out. Sorry to say that about him, but that's how I feel. Kaz is going to be a money maker, that is for sure. The money is definitely there with Kaz. He has the size, he has the build, he has the speed that that is needed. He has the charisma. He has everything there to be a top star in the main roster. And whether he does that one-on-one or whether he does that with Enzo when Enzo comes back from his injury, that is to be seen. I feel this is a chance for Kaz to explode and do a singles thing for right now, and get his name out there, get his own little brand going. So with that being said, yeah. So anyways, and then down at the end, towards the end of the night, they had a match where it was supposed to have been Chris Jericho and Kaz having a match at the end of the night, but that obviously did not turn out the way that they had planned it for. Dean Ambrose got involved, which we all knew he would, but it was pretty comical how he did it. Chris Jericho again was coming down the ramp. He has his light jacket and everything, and while the lights were down, someone came, attacked Chris Jericho, and walked backwards with his jacket on. Well, when the lights came on in the ring, there was Dean Ambrose wearing Chris Jericho's jacket, which was pretty comical. And Dean Ambrose started tearing apart the jacket. Chris Jericho came in, got a beat down by Dean Ambrose, and was trying to leave. And as he kind of ran into a big wall known as Kaz. Like I said, they were supposed to have a match at that moment, and it never happened because of Dean Ambrose getting involved. So Chris Jericho slapped Kaz, which was a bad idea, and then just got thrown around by Kaz, and then thrown in the ring where Ambrose gave him his finisher, and that was it. Then Ambrose went back to tearing the jacket up some more and tossed it to Chris Jericho. So where this feud would lead between the three of them, we're only going to go and see. Obviously, there's going to be a match between Chris Jericho and Kaz. So, yeah. They're trying to, I think, start giving Zack Ryder a little bit of a push once again. I feel like that he really didn't need to be in the match he was in with Rusev. It really didn't make no sense to me. He was just there not Rusev, I'm sorry. We'll get back to that. I'll get back to my notes on that here in a minute. Anyways, Stephanie McMahon, she's very well hated because she's a McMahon, because of her screeching and yelling she does, but she's a great talker. She's got a great sense of business. She got a great sense of how she pronounces herself, how she talks, things like that. She's very good at doing that, and so I don't think there's a whole lot of really bad things we can say about Stephanie just because we don't like her because she's a McMahon. Now, the next thing is Roman Reigns and AJ Styles. This is a good rivalry, not only with the rivalry between Roman Reigns and AJ Styles, but also with the Roman Reigns and the Usos versus the Bullet Club and AJ Styles. Now that the three of them are back together, I think that it's making the rivalry between the two of them much better, much bigger, and actually giving them more of a storyline. So I think this feud, I didn't think between Roman Reigns and AJ Styles it'd be a good mix, but it's turned out to be just that. And I feel like this is one of Roman Reigns' better moments. He's getting better. His commentary still sucks, but I feel like his in-ring and the way he's giving himself his own brand, I think he's getting a lot better at that. And so I'm just glad that he's finally getting out there and he's finally doing that. Another match that I wasn't too happy with was Fandango and R-Truth. That match should never have happened. It makes no sense. It needs to stop. It needs to end. It's just ridiculous. It's stupid. No one wants to see it. R-Truth is a great wrestler. Fandango, he was just like a one-hit wonder. He did this thing, and now he's just he's non-existent anymore. R-Truth is just, he's there, he's off, he's on, he's off. He's not steady. as a wrestler, so I just wasn't happy with that match. And then they've got this thing going on between The Miz, Cesaro, Kevin, or Zayn, and and all that, to try to figure out who gets this title shot. Backstage they were all talking, and Zayn finally came out, and said, "I want a title shot. I feel I deserve it," which he doesn't. But they gave him an opportunity later on down the night to fight The Miz to see if he gets a chance to get involved in the title shot, which Zayn did beat The Miz. So he beat the champion. So that gave him an automatic entry into the chance of winning the title, the Intercontinental title. He's one of my picks to win it. I'm hoping it does, but I don't think that the WWE thinks he's going to be ready yet, so I doubt he's going to win it. If he does, I sure hope he does win it. And then you have this whole thing with Emma and Becky Lynch. Their rivalry going on right now. Emma bringing someone else in to attack Becky Lynch. It seems like that they're trying to get back into the whole let's do a factions with the Divas. I mean, if it was me, I personally don't want to see that. I don't think it's going to work. I mean, they tried it once already, and it was a complete bust. I mean, but who knows? Maybe they're going to try to do it again. Maybe they're going to try something different with it. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. I just personally do not think that they need to start another faction within the Divas division. Now, as far as the males go, there's also a lot of these factions going on. You have, you got the Bullet Club, and then now you kind of got like Roman Reigns and the Usos. You got, the Enzo and Kaz going against the Dudleys. You got all these tag teams, all these factions going again, kind of like it was back in the Attitude Era, where it was there was hardly any one-on-one. It was tag team versus tag team, faction versus faction. I feel like they need to stick with one-on-one or maybe tag teams, but factions I just don't think work out. I mean, it helps give storylines and it helps give wrestlers get in the ring to fight, to get involved and stuff like that, but I just don't feel that the factions are needed at this point. And the next thing is there was, this whole thing with Ric Flair, his daughter Charlotte, and Natalya, who are all having this storyline going right now where Charlotte and Natalya, they've been going back and forth. They got, Extreme Rules. They got a match coming up. And Stephanie McMahon had told Ric Flair that you're not allowed ringside at Extreme Rules. Well, he decided to go to Shane McMahon and try to get reversed. And Shane said, nope, not happening. My sister said this is how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be. Oh, and by the way, Ric Flair, not only are you not allowed at ringside at Extreme Rules, you're not allowed at ringside tonight, and I better not see you there. Sure enough, what happens? Ric Flair comes down, so Shane McMahon makes his entrance, comes down with the referees. In the process of making Ric Flair leave, Charlotte's all going crazy because her dad's getting taken away, and Natalya takes advantage of it, rolls her up, gets on top of her. 1, 2, 3. It was over. She pinned Charlotte. Again, because of her dad, she's either won or she's lost. Charlotte needs to go on her own. She needs to make her own way without using her dad. I mean, her dad's the one that's given her her name to get her where she's at. If it wasn't for her dad, she probably wouldn't have that title right now. And if it wasn't for her dad, she wouldn't have probably won a lot of the matches she has. She may not even lost some of the matches she lost if it wasn't for her dad. Natalya was doing commentary, with all of them during the match, and she was horrible. I mean, her commentary was so bad that night. She shouldn't have been there. So, And then you got the next match. You got Baron and you got Dolph Ziggler. Now that's been a good rivalry. Those two have really been going at it, and it's just a good thing. Baron is also another good wrestler that the WWE really needs to get back behind. And with the next 18 months or a little over 18 months, they need to, maybe in the next 2 years at most, they need to give him some form of title shot. If they don't, they're missing the buck on this guy. They're going back to the bigger guys, the taller guys, stuff that they kind of strayed away from. It seems like they're going back into that era once again. And so they need to give Baron a opportunity, just like they need to get Cass an opportunity to reach those brass rings, to reach them and get them up there. There's just a lot of wrestlers, and there's something else. They fired 8 different wrestlers. They fired Santino Marella. They fired Naomi. They fired, they let Wade Barrett go, which we all knew he was leaving anyways. Mizdow, which that is stupid in its own to fire him. Maybe there was something politics going on backstage, the reason why they let him go, but he was one of the most wanted wrestlers there. But it just seemed like they couldn't find a way to use him properly. But everyone liked him. Everyone's not happy that they let him go, but of course they did. And they let a few other ones go as well. So, and from what I understand, they've got more that they're fixing to release. The rumor is that Randy Orton may be getting released, or he's just still injured, and eventually we'll see him come back. So, myself, I hope he comes back. If he comes back, he was the good guy last time. He'll probably come back as a heel this time. Who knows? There's just a lot of wrestlers who are injured right now that I'm hoping to come back real soon. And you got the Colognes, who are Carlito, if you know who he is, his family. They're coming back next week finally for their new debut. Who knows if Carlito will come back with him or not. That'd be awesome if he did. But if he doesn't, whatever. So that is my Raw review, my Raw reaction on this. I'm sure there's a couple of things I've missed. This is my first one to do. It will get better, and we will get better. If you all like what you heard today, if you want me to continue doing this this episode of wrestling, let me know down in the comments below. Hit up with a thumbs up. If you didn't like this, give it a thumbs down. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you think I should continue doing this. Favorite, comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And thank you for watching for another episode of Dark Friends Productions. Thank you for watching WWE Raw Reactions. And for now, my name is Chad. I just want to say thank you for watching. Take care. Be safe. Have a good day. I will catch you on another episode. I will bring you probably another food review tonight or tomorrow. So take care and watch out for that. I'm out of here.